Let's talk about what I like to call the purge paradox. This little bony snake was made right beside this little bony snake. Now, every other vertebrae on the second bony snake is a purge item, and that is why it has this wonderful stripy pattern. And this really did reduce substantially the amount of wasted filament that went into my snake, by way of making me a secondary snake that was really cool looking and letting me have the first snake without wasting a lot of filament. There still was some waste. And I could have gotten rid of most of that waste had I not painted every other vertebrae white, but I really did like the look out of it. I thought it added something. But you see, printing purge items is somewhat paradoxical, and the reason why is because in order for it to be an effective purge item, it must be as tall as the thing you are printing. It also must have a substantial volume in which to put the purge into, or otherwise it's not going to be a very useful purge item. The paradox of this situation is now we require a lot more bed space in order to offset the amount of color changing we are doing, and the more we need bed space, the less we have, so then we can't fit our original item. I mean, if you look at this print, yes, I was able to get all of this to print, and I was able to reduce my waste down to less than 65 grams, which is amazing. But pay attention here. We have one item that I was printing, and all of this that I was purging. Sure, technically you could count every other one of these vertebrae as an item that I was printing too, that was a solid color, but most of this bed is taken up by purge items. And doing something like breaking this model into individual models, which is what I did, and then setting each individual vertebrae as a purge item can go a long way to reduce the amount of filament you are wasting, but this is only applicable in certain situations. Purge items are useful as a tool, but altogether, they're not a fix-all. They only fit in certain situations, and this just happened to be one of those situations. However, a tool that I would like to implement is something I like to call Paint on Purge, which would make Purge both more effective and make it extremely useful. And that is where you could select an item and go to your paintbrush, and then you could change the color of actual spaces inside the model to an extra setting, which was purge color, which means you don't really care what color that is, you just want the printer to dump wasted filament in there as a color. I'm no programmer, so I don't know how easy this would be to implement, but it feels rather easy since you can literally select entire vertebrae to be purge items. I don't see why you couldn't find a way to make it a paintbrush, and then it would be more useful, more effective, and the paradox wouldn't be so paradoxical.